Me and Tom are massive fans of the boys, and we met up, what, 5 years ago, 4 years ago?
We wanted to sort of do this genre, and then me and Sweet Alan had done a short film together, and we sort of had chatted about, sort of doing something along these sort of lines.
Seeker took us to Nando's, I think.
Yeah.
That's the black
Yeah.
Eat as much as you want.
Big Nando's move made.
It's a power move.
Yeah. And
Also, just Tom laid it on pretty thick, kept texting me all the time.
Yeah, wow, you hold your mic, so cool.
That's
there's an interviewer about to do a gig. I'm about to stand up, I'm like a really eggy stand up. You're like, yeah. So, no, just glad to be here, really. I couldn't believe it when he returned my call.
Do you know what, Tom? I don't know if I speak for myself here, you guys can let me know. I think you dress very snazzy in the coat. Who liked the way that he was dressed?
Lindsay's incredible from costumes.
Shout out, Lindsay.
It's a hell of a look. I think
It was very Gucci campaign, like,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I need to make more effort in real life.
But how did you guys go about creating the 80s look, the 80s feel for the show? Because it feels very authentic.
We got together, and the guys that we were both obsessed with rubbish gangsters, right? Which the boys shared a common thing with, and we were looking into this gold heist in the 80s. And we just thought it would be a rich world to have sort of idiots in a crime caper. But yeah, the 80s look and everything is down to an amazing team. There's lots of people here. And Michelle Drake, Lindsay Moore, costume. Westerbrook is not here, he's our DOP. But yeah, it's a rich time because it's 1982. It's not like wham 80s, it's like late 70s. Because the vehicles, the costumes, what people were wearing is more late 70s, so that's why it's got that sort of retro look. But yeah, lots of research, lots of hard work. It was a fun world, and the music, and it's a dream come true, really, isn't it? It's a nice period.
Tom, where did the voice?
That is.
I promise it's written.
No, that's just my dad. I don't know. It sort of was different people that sort of come across over the years, growing up and working in sites and whatever. And there was a guy who used to sort of drink in a lot of bars called Bernie. He was like a sort of bullshit extraordinaire. And he used to speak like that and come up with stories. And from there it came. It was it was just a joy to do, really. I genuinely was working with these boys was just like a dream come true.
Can I just say, when we did the castings for the people would come in and Tom would start talking and they would just like freeze. And
This is true. This happened to me.
It happened to you,
Are we doing it? Oh, that's it. That's what he's doing. Okay.
So loud.
I like it.
How much improv was there in
We
the
were
show?
strict on this, there was none.
Yeah, was it just go by the script?
Yeah. We were all very look, we've enjoyed improv individually on a project, but this has to be scripted. People were thrown off set if they did improv. James was very strict about that.
we all knew our lines completely.
Constantly, they were always on their lines. I never saw them miss a line.
Basically, a lot of us can't learn lines properly.
None of us, apart from Ema, actually. Actually, Ema's the only one who's a problem.
Pretty much. But I'd say it was 80-20. There's a bit of scripted 80 and then 20, I'd say.
That's about right.
We bumped it up because it's about 70-30 on people to nothing, isn't it? So we're learning more.
We're slowly getting more professional.
But how do you guys stop? Because a scene could go on forever if you're all.
They do.
That's up to
Longer than
Jane.
it takes.
It's a tricky one when to call it, because you never know what little gem you're going to get. So that's the balance.
And what about the music for the show? Because I feel like the soundtrack proper stands out. How did you guys put that together?
We've been thinking about this for 5 years, so shout out to Phil helped with all the commercial music, shout out to Marley, did the score, the composer. But yeah, between us, these guys are big musos, so we all like put together a big playlist of tracks that we liked. We didn't want to go all the obvious 80s music because
that was my choice. They all had these really cool sounds, and I'd just go, "What about if we stick this in?"
What if we just have gold? We bring back gold.
It's no Spandau Ballet, and that feels weird. They just started a new music group that I wasn't a part of. For me, Sunday Liverpool. And all.
How did we all feel about the facial hair, the moustaches? Some of you have kept them.
I loved it so much. Look, I'm a massive Seeper fan, so I just kept adoring it. And as soon as it's over, I just made one dedication. I said that until we do it again, I'm going to carry a moustache.
It's nice. And we all bought him a hat as well.
Did you all chip in for the one?
Yeah. Actually brought me a whole wardrobe of clothes. I think Hugo's been dropping by like little care gifts like food and shit. So no, I still feel like
it's been good.
We help each other out.
Yeah. No, I to be honest, I hated having a tash for 7 weeks or whatever. I mean,
You look so cute.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, where's that coming from? So is that an audience? No, watching it back, I did look quite cute actually. But I didn't feel it at the time.
It seemed sort of offensive, especially in Liverpool.
Yeah, I had like green hair and a tash. It just looked like Mad Harry Enfield sketch. But yeah, because obviously usually I dress in trackies and that, so. Cool. The moustache didn't really go very cool. Yeah, was that it?
It's me.
Louder. Yeah. So, but it just looked like I sort of owned a bike shop in Shoreditch. Not the one, really.
So you're just saying the moustaches aren't cool?
He's just sitting
No,
there.
it's cool if you're a lot older. Do you know what
You're 10 years older, yeah.
Ema, what drew you to the script? What drew you to your character Natasha?
Is it me?
Yeah, it's mainly
Who's most?
I'm dreaming.
Gosh.
I just watched these guys work, and I think writers and directors are everything to a project, and these guys had nailed it. So I wanted to come and commit crime with them, basically.
Do any of you have a favourite scene? Is there a collective fave that you have that you shot?
I like the one there's one in the episode 4 that I did with Ema and Sipo, which is like fun with there's like that one in a hotel. They're all, you know what, like genuinely, like for the moment we started doing this, I wanted to work with these boys, and it's just we had so much fun making this, and me and James were James said, we were fans, and it was just a lot of fun messing about with these guys. They're incredibly talented, and it was we were blessed with a lot of people in the room tonight who came to sort of fuck about with us. Really, that's the thing for I think that we all share a common thing. And like when me and Sipa first met, was that none of us have come through the conventional way of this industry. Sort of we're all sort of outsiders coming in. So to be surrounded by some of the sort of best acting talent in my mind in the country was just kind of phenomenal. And then you've got us sort of fucking about in the midst of it. It was I loved every moment. It was a lot of fun.
It feels like it must have been really serious and hard work. What was it like working together? Like how was that dynamic? No laughs on set whatsoever. No joy to be had.
No joy. It was very quiet. We were all very focused. No one ever, we sort of.
I think I probably was the most focused in a way.
You were definitely, Some days you didn't even talk to me. You just see his trailer.
Especially on your birthday.
Yeah.
Your birthday was the day you were.
I didn't even know it was his birthday.
Yeah,
That was under wraps.
birthday.
Was it your birthday?
8 o'clock that night, someone it was Sipa's birthday today. I was like, no one's mentioned it.
But do not mess up his Nando's order.
That did happen. We were talking about Nando's earlier. We've got like a relationship with Nando's, so I was the one that put the order in for everyone.
I love that this is still we're at like a press launch.
No.
Hold up, someone didn't get
I didn't get my Nando's order, and I was.
That is unacceptable behaviour.
Can you imagine?
Scandal, the outrage.
Yeah, so that's the sort of vibe on set.
There was a poor runner that we sacked. It was like kind of Game of Thrones like sort of vibe. She was brought in front of the whole.
And then the first take when Sipa goes to find the gold in the box, I put his Nando's in there.
That is actually true. So that's why it looked like it was good acting.
know, I think that comedy is definitely a remedy that people are craving, that people need nowadays. What do you hope, as a cast, as writers on this, as the crew as well, that people take from what you've made? Go on, you can tell.
I don't know. I'd hope people like it.
That's facts, though. Yeah, I agree. I just hope people enjoy it. Like we, you know, on a real, we just enjoy. We just care when we put shit together, and we just enjoy putting it together and have fun while we're doing it. So
Yeah.
you know, if people enjoy it, that's a bonus, really.
We're fortunate to make some sick shit. So.
Amen.
Sick.
And I guess deep down, this story is really about friendship. Really, isn't it? That's the crux of it. I was going to ask if you're still going to remain friends at the end, but I think you might be the only survivor then, Natasha. Maybe not.
Yeah, big spoiler in the first episode there.
I wanted to ask you guys actually about the 80s costumes and just bringing it back to that a little bit. Did you nick anything from set? Did anybody take any? You're looking at me because you're
I
starting.
look like I've stolen my glasses, but these are different. Maybe I got inspired by it.
I probably wanted to though. Like, I like the green sort of palette.
Was it the John Travolta thing that you were?
Yeah, no, not that.
That was a little bit sick though.
No, yeah, that was
You can bring it
alright.
back.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can put it off just normally. But I love the green thing with the collar that was kind of Pablo Escobar sort of vibes. But they wouldn't let me have it, man. So.
I was quite glad to leave that tabard behind. No offense, Lindsay, I love you, but that tabard, I'm done.
Before we open it out to the floor, actually, I think this show sort of answers one of the questions that many a dinner party, drink up, link up, people always argue about it, that if you had 20 mil, 30 mil, whatever it is, would you be able to spend it all? And what would you actually buy, each of you, if you had that money?
Buy a meal for everyone in the world.
Did you get one, Nando?
Wow, how did we follow that?
Absolutely.
I was thinking like a gold helicopter or shit. There's an arsehole at the end there. Oh no, obviously food as well. A gold helicopter to deliver food. Is that what you want? A gold helicopter. What, and a dinner?
Hugo, what'd you buy?
All leather.
The poor cows.
I don't know, but
Yeah, oh shit, yeah, fake leather.
Yeah, pleather.
no, I don't know. It's
I love the idea the cows are just like all gulping. Or where they were like, what? He said what? You better make sure he's never over.
it felt right.
What about you, man?
How do I follow that? Meals for the entire world and a gold helicopter and all leather, fake leather. I don't know.
Good luck.
Go to space.
There you go. There you
Nice.
go. James?
Mate, I'd take some of that 20 million for the second series. Because you really fucking struggled to make this one.
We can open it out to the floor actually if anybody has any questions
Kieran?
of the guys.
Kieran?
Any questions? Oh, we got one over there in the middle. We've got some roving mics for you, so they'll bring it over.
Hi, I'm Van Zaka. I'm a freelance culture and politics writer, and thanks for that. That was really interesting to watch. I just wanted to ask, obviously the show was set in the 80s. I guess at the precipice of like economic strife, and we're seeing people who are really struggling. Do you feel like this was a particularly important thing to kind of be exploring right now, when we're seeing parallels between what people are experiencing at the moment in terms of kind of like wealth inequality and now, and the way in which people look towards alternatives to solve their kind of economic and social problems?
Yeah, I think it's very apt. I mean, going into sort of where we've been as a sort of country, I think the divide, sort of like if you look at the 80s and where the divide was between sort of the working classes and those with money, I think it was such a big parallel then, and weirdly sort of during COVID, it's sort of that parallel's grown against, and those who have and those who have not seem to sort of almost mirror the 80s. So although we sort of felt like we sort of spent 2 decades sort of hopefully sort of slimming that, it feels like it's grown once again. And I think, yeah, I think that there's I think when we were writing it, and again that sort of I think comes from all of us as a collective where we come from. We all come from that sort of world where a lot of us have sort of grown up in working class environments. So it's important for us to tell this sort of tale and make sure that a light is shone from the 80s to sort of now of like sort of I guess those who haven't got anything and what would you do in that scenario? And there's probably a lot of people out there right now who are sort of in need of money and in need of that, and I'm not saying go and commit a robbery. That would be an insane thing to do, but if a friend was to come up to you in a pub and say it's a relatively easy robbery, it's a pretty much this is, you could look at this as an educational video on how to do it. Just watch it to the end though, because there's there's definitely like don't bite off more than you can chew. Just take a little bit of the gold.
Hence the title.
I was thinking, I wonder where he's going with that.
That's pretty much what happens with 90% of things that come out of my mouth. I usually say a lot of shit and then like halfway through, where am I going with this? At the moment it sounds quite profound, it could be going somewhere. And I go, fuck it.
But you know what it is that I thought this is so true, but like read the room, the show.
It's no worse than the Prime Minister or anyone who's running the country. So
do we have any other questions from anyone in the audience? We've got one at the back. Oh, pink scrunchie, that's a very nice hairband.
I can't see anything, I'm just like...
You've got to squint a little bit, glows in the dark.
Hello, I'm Star, I'm from St Albans. I just wanted to know, I'm not as posh as I sound, sorry. If you could choose anyone to join the second series, actor, actress, who would you choose? Each of you, genuine question, I want to know.
Wow.
Are you stressed about? We're going to start with you, since nobody wants to speak. You all wouldn't shut up earlier.
Kieran, can you stand up?
Kieran.
Kieran's an up-and-coming actor. Kieran Kavanagh is my flatmate. Kieran, get up!
Nice.
It'd be nice having him on the set. He's my best mate. Who do you want?
I was going to say Al Pacino, but maybe they could be like a team.
Kieran could be his acting coach or...
So much pressure. I've forgotten every actor that exists in the whole world. Can you come back to me?
I don't even like Al Pacino, it's just the only one I can think of. Panicked.
Go on,
I'm trying to think as well.
We could say, who did you say? We were saying,
three.
As a collective, we were going to say 1, 2, 3, Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. What role would you
Well, he's the best of all time.
Yeah, he's like a cool American guy who just comes in and sort of doesn't even have to be cooked.
If you put a piano in the pub, he's multi-talented.
Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
I reckon we can get rid of it.
If anyone here knows Jamie Foxx or Al Pacino, but obviously Kieran as well. Obviously, as soon as you said Kieran, I was like, I've seen a lot of Kieran's stuff, and he's a really talented. I mean, I don't think Kieran, if I'm honest with you, it seems ridiculous even thinking that Kieran's going to do it.
He's got a lot of screening to do.
We need to talk about screening. Actually, if anyone does need any screening done,
Cheers, what's the name of the company? Flow Screed.
We'll all put it on our Instagram.
Not screed. Screening.
Right, actually, what we're shouting out friends with businesses, Southern Tree Care also here, so trees that need felling or anything like that. We'll do all these links after. This is almost like a job fair.
Well, mate, Marcus does tattoos as well.
Oh yeah, tattoos. So basically there's loads of different industries.
Army does trees, doesn't they? Tree felling.
Tree felling,
Nice.
It's easier if you all just chat afterwards, probably.
Big barbers as well. There.
I think that we have time for one more question from the audience.
And it could be about the show, but it could also be
about
to other
trees or
trades.
tattoos, screens.
NFTs.
NFTs, very popular nowadays.
Still don't get it, but...
Actually, if you could explain what NFTs are, that would be great.
Get at me, please.
Does anyone care about our show?
Great, ask a question.
What are you doing here?
Here is the question.
Do you draw any parallels?
Wait, you need a mic.
We got you.
Can you draw any parallels between your character and your actual character?
What, the coward that he plays?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Only you know that.
Is that you or...
Yeah. Kieran, you know the answer to that.
Tell us, Steve.
What about the rest of you? Do you draw any?
Am I a snitch?
Are you a snitch?
I reckon if shit hits the fan, you probably
Would you bring your own pad and pen to the interview room?
No. Sydney. No. I like his mullet. That's about as far as I'll take it, probably. Yeah. No.
I'd say the closest is probably Tom. That's
Oh yeah. Without a doubt. Yeah, no, I'm a big gullible fool full of love.
Well, thank you guys so much. The Curse lands this Sunday, the 6th of February at 10 p.m. on Channel 4. All episodes are going to be available to stream on all 4 from Sunday morning. You heard it earlier, 1 minute past 12. So please join us. There's a party in the bar where Steve Stamp is going to be
Thank you.
A star is born! Yeah.